All right, everybody, let's get the show on the road. Division 7, the crowd pleasers against the Bacon Landlords. Yeah, it's Division 7 time. We have the best of 3 series. Now, our first map is Battlefield of Eternity. And on the left side, it is Jude Law on ETC, Johannes on Stukov, then der Johannes, der Kannes. Freeride on Greymane, Zonk on Jaina, and der Alte Jäger on Urel. And on the right side of the map, Bacon Soccer on Arthas. We have Hinata, today without Naruto, on Ana, Mikasa on Soljin, Aramork on Garrosh, and Loriathalion on Chromie. So, once again, just a little bit of a note of what exactly this is. This is the lowest league, the lowest division in Heroes Lounge, the amateur series that exists in Europe and North America. So we're in Division 7, which means that roughly on average these people are between, like Division 7 usually is between bronze and gold. That's the average level of play that you're going to see there. There's of course going to be some differences depending on if you're looking at the top teams within the division or the bottom teams, but fair to say that we're going to see questionable picks. I mean, we already see questionable picks in terms of heroes, don't get me wrong. Questionable picks in terms of strategy, of execution, and also, oh, it could be a killer in terms of talents. We're going to talk about that in just a little bit, but first of all, it seems like we might have the first blood, but Ana is making the play and keeping them alive. So already we have for Arthurs up at the top the meme dream, Bacon Soccer going straight into Internal Hunger as his level of 1 talent. Not really a good talent, it's a pretty shit talent actually. Not even in brawls where you have a consistent 5 versus 5 is the talent any good. It's kind of fun because it's meme and you're trying to get the endless stacking going, but the talent itself, pretty bad. I actually advocated now several times for Blizzard to just change it slightly. I mean, if they're too lazy to actually rework the talent, what they can do is just buff the damage by 1. Even 2 wouldn't make it overpowered, but they could adjust slightly in order to make it maybe a little bit useful. As it is, you pick it a bit for mana. Of course, 2 is not necessarily the damage output in the late game that you're looking for, but it gives you the dings, and that always is a little bit of a bonus. When we talk about Soljin, that's actually another reason of a hero that... it's another hero that... the perfect axis with the perfect circle. No hit Aramork. That's the new name of this one. Absolutely fantastic. I mean, how to not use those axes and circle them right around the mercenary camp that you're attacking. No, but all jokes aside, I mean, at this point, seriously, it's just like Soljin, he of course relies on getting the hits in. He wants to stack. In this case, we even have him with Headhunter as the level 1 talent, so it's all about trying to get some kills in and then get a damage increase, hopefully also range increase in the long run. Same true for the baseline, where 15 stacks will give you a range increase and you get the double spin after you do hit 30. So yeah, that was actually quite nice. But with that all said, let's have a little bit of a look at our first Immortal, which is going to pop up in just a moment. Level 4 talents are now slowly kicking in for both teams. This is of course a very aggressive map. I mean, Battlefield of Eternity was always known for it. Very late rotation from the red team towards their own mercenary camp. Ana went for a little bit of pew-pew, but Ana and Chromie are not going to take that in a reasonable time frame. I mean, this is not going to go well. Actually, Ana is losing that battle too. Blue team has already taken theirs over here. They got Greymane. By now we have at least Mikasa coming in. But while the blue team is battling the Immortal, they are battling mercenary camp. And I don't know how to tell you this, guys, but they are losing. They are losing that fight. The mercenary camp is just a little bit too strong, and in the meantime the halftime show has already been lost. You might have guessed it already, but that was a bad play. So what you normally want to do here is you want to move over with multiple heroes to that camp just as the Immortal gets announced. In an ideal world, shortly before that, if you time it properly. But now they just gave up the halftime show and they didn't get anything out of it. And as you now can tell, with Greymane chipping in, this is going to be an easy Immortal for the blue team, or at least it should be. Unless someone on the red team side is popping off. And to be fair, Chromie and Suljin are trying to do exactly that. ETC, on the other hand, he created a bit of space, so that's great for him. We have 0 kills in this game so far. And over here, still the poke, but the red team is now on the defense, while Urel is still active up at the top, but a good flip. And that's the end of Stukov. Nicely done by Aramork. So yeah, job well done by him. Of course, top side, the camp is still being taken out. Blue team has already lost their spot lane. Suljin is now trying to get some damage on over here. Has 1 stack on his Headhunter, thanks to the kill against Stukov, which, by the way, was also first blood in this game. But now that we're looking at the attack coming back in, yeah, there's the Blizzard, okay. Urel comes in too, and they're about to lock this one in. ETC is moving in as well. Chrome is running out of mana at this point. Greymane comes in, gets flipped out again. Stun circles on the ground, dodged out nicely. Immortal is taken, and as long as they're not losing any heroes here, we should see the blue team in a good position to push, actually. And they're already starting to slide into the middle here. Level 7 Talon, soon TM, 2 actually moving down to the bottom of the map, which is interesting considering that the Immortal is actually topside. ETC is repositioning quickly. 11 stacks now for Arthur, so he's already done with his quest, meaning that the mana management is a little bit easier for our bad boy. Level 7 Tal comes in, and that gives us the Ice Flows. Alright, so the Cone of Cold in this case. Yeah, a bit of a weird build anyways, having the level 1 and the level 7 mana talent currently active for them. 7 now active for both sides. Of course, we are also now with the new mechanics and the new aggro mechanics on towers and forts and keeps in a bit of a different environment here, which costs free Rider his life. More like free XP, my friend. It also allows Suljin to get another hit in on his level 1, so 2 stacks already. That's a 4% damage increase for him, and he's sitting at 13 now for the baseline. But this is a pretty easy elimination of the Immortal. Couldn't really get a lot out of it. It was a big shield, but he couldn't get too much there. 2 kills against 0, so despite the fact that the crowd pleasers were able to take Immortal number 1, the Bacon Landlords are the ones taking the kills over here. And they're stacking Suljin, and he excels in that late game. That's actually one of those things that I talked a bit, or actually I talked about it a lot when we had the new changes coming in, because now you theoretically have a chance to bring heroes like Nazeebo and Suljin into the meta, since you will end up with longer games. I mean, recently there was actually a little bit of data published on Reddit going mainly about Storm League, but it showed that in Storm League, I think on average the game length has increased by 2 to 2.5 minutes. Nothing insane, but still a bit of an increase that could help heroes like Suljin and Nazeebo to stack into the late game and really do solid damage. Now, of course, as time continues, we will see more data coming out on this. Blizzard has also been asked to maybe look a bit into, hey, can maybe a boss, for example, take the aggro on the towers? Why is a boss, for example, these days not really worth a whole lot because the team can't push with it without, or the defense is so much easier now that the tower aggro shifts, so maybe there should be exceptions for certain mercenary camps, for bosses, for example, and for objectives. All reasonable approaches, to be honest, but right now, as is, the average game length in Storm League matches has increased by 2.5 minutes. Now, this is obviously not Storm League. This is a 5 versus 5 setup. This is a little bit different, but just suffice to say that average game time has increased a little bit, and this is why certain heroes will see a little bit of a comeback in all of it. Just simply because you will have a chance to actually set them up in the late game. Anyways, with this, we have the second Immortal now up, and level 10 abilities are there. Interestingly enough, the blue team doesn't go for the fight. This is what they should do right now. Instead of trying to trade here, they should actually force this. They have all the tools they need in order to win a big battle. But they are actually trading 50-50 on this, and now that they're moving in, there's of course some of that passive experience that has already tickled in, but they really need to take an aggressive stance there and exploit that level 10 advantage that they have. Them failing to do that is a big problem. That's the first thing that they should have looked for, the big fight and using those level 10 abilities. And they're moving in now, and they definitely need to, trying to play around the Immortal Suns a little bit, which they don't do properly. Yeah, there's the dance time, and that should net them a few kills. The Aldjäger with the ult right there. Baiken Soccer also goes down. Still no level 10 for them. Zonk, on the other hand, is about to be taken down if he doesn't pay attention. Suljin has also fallen, went into the Dastingo. And over here, the attempt at an escape, but this one in vain. Jaina, the counter kill. Urel dead as well, but the Immortal taken again by the crowd pleasers, who, by the way, were also now able to damage the bot lane significantly thanks to the camp that they took just a few seconds ago. So, nicely played on their part. And with that, we're now heading into the next objective, of course, to see how this is going to work out. Well, the next objective, push. The objective will, of course, already be taken, but now that it's pushing, that's what we Have to still check out. 19 stacks for Suljin, so it's getting there. Has the range increased by now. We have 23,000 damage for Chromie. Suljin is still trailing behind a little bit, but could definitely come later. ETC gets wrecked after the throw. Nicely done. And this Immortal, not too successful. Yeah, Immortal number 2, barely able to take a tower down. And that's that. We have by now 8 kills in the game. 3 against 5. Still a lead. It's interesting also that there's 2 heroes still at the top. So Zong, for example, never really moved down to help the team out. And yeah, it's a bit problematic. One of the main reasons, of course, I mean, he died in the previous encounter, so he was a little bit late to the party. If they really want to make a play there, they have, he needs to rush in pretty quickly. Decided instead to go all the way up to the top, but he couldn't really get a lot out of that positioning either. But of course the attempt was at least there to try and surprise Arthurs, which didn't quite work out the way that they intended, but hell yeah. So, in the meantime, down at the bottom of the map, the next 4 versus 4 is being set up as the teams are falling back to the standard lanes for now. Top lane. Currently still Urel taking this. Very aggressive stance, actually. I mean, that could quickly backfire if Arthurs is moving in at some point. And he should sniff out what's happening here. I mean, at this point, you have to ask yourself, where exactly is Urel? Why is she not here? And in a 1 versus 1 fight, he can do quite a bit there. Down to the bottom of the map, on the other hand, the attack against Aramork, barely able to keep himself so alive. But the kill against Jaina and Greymane. And the hits keep coming, and now that we have multiple kills against the blue team, that of course also increases the stacks for Suljin. He's at 4 stacks out of 5 on his baseline now, which is making him stronger and stronger in this setup, and will in the long run really hurt the crowd pleasers, especially if he's able to get the final hit in and eliminate the final hero. The only one that he didn't get yet, I mean, he was dead earlier. I suppose he didn't get the ETC kill earlier. I might be wrong on that account, so I'm not quite sure which one he hasn't killed at this point. But I guess we're going to find out eventually. With 13 talents now available for both teams, we're seeing the camps pushed again and taken. Up towards the top. There's of course the attempt to take the fort down too, so far only a single main structure has fallen. That's the fort at the bottom of the map. And now the attempt to see if they can maybe trap somebody here. There's no real move towards any of the Immortals yet. Both teams with more of a passive position early on this one. But yep, this is where we're going right now. Let's see. Top side, they're trying to force the fight. Good save. Bacon Soccer gets flipped out by Aramork, but now Garrosh himself is in trouble. There comes the Howling Blast. Not successful in that little encounter. They're trying to still take down Garrosh. Aldiega moves in, drops the ult, should get the kill here together with Jaina, and there they have it. Garrosh down. Top lane still pushing. Bot lane, by the way, too. Bot lane with catapults and with minions, we have an approach towards the keep. Defense towards the top side is already moving in. This is where Urel is currently active. Jaina could come in with a quick blizzard and help out too, and someone needs to deal with this and needs to deal with it quickly. We're only 12 minutes in. Those catapults are not really doing too much work yet, but Bacon Soccer is the one to try and take care of the situation right now. Suljin at 27 stacks went into the Arcanite Axis on level 7, so that means with another 3 stacks he's going to have the double swing and can stack this more aggressively. It's a big part of where you want to get Suljin into the late game. There's the cleanse, there's his ult as well, but Dingo doesn't save you. You can only trade a little bit. Once that you hit level 20, then it's of course a bit of a different story, and you can do way more with that ult. But right now, that is not the case just yet. So gotta be careful here. They're making their play again. Trying to take this one down, and well, we are seeing them with an easy halftime show win over here, and that has been the theme of the game. I mean, the crowd pleasers so far have done exceptionally well when it comes to immortal control and objective control. It's the kills in the team fights where they are suffering a little bit. Now, they're not that far behind, but it has become quite transparent that a lot of those team fights, they are still struggling slightly, and that's something that they have to fix eventually, or they're going to run into problems in the late game when those death timers increase. Nearly the ice block for Jaina. I mean, she's close. She's very close to it. Damage output for Jaina, 27,000. 33,000 for Chromie. 27k, by the way, 2 for Suljin. And this should likely be the elimination of another fort. This time topside. 0 deaths on Ana and on Chromie, both of the ranged heroes. Well, the real ranged heroes over here. They're doing a decent job with this. Of course, Suljin is currently trying to get the stacks together again. Yo. Let's keep coming here as well, as the teams are starting to move a little bit farther forward in the attempt to take the fort down. And of course, the main goal has to be to do more than that. I mean, taking the fort apart is always nice, but at the end of the day, you really want to make sure that you get a little bit more than that out of it. Ideally, the key, but if you can just open up the wall, that would be a step into the right direction. Alright, 5 against 7, 16 versus 16 any second. The extra talent would really be helpful, but the kill against Jane has a good one. She doesn't have her baseline completed, so there's no ice block for her. Now actually she does. The water elemental doing the job for her, but that comes a bit too late to save her ass. So bot side, the space goat still going up against Arthur's. That hasn't really changed. 5 kills against 8, and now in 16 even Frostmourne feats for Arthur's to get the increased amount on his level 1. 20 stacks, by the way. 20 stacks. That means that he does 80 damage with it, which is obviously a little bit ridiculous, which is the exact reason why I say that 5 or even 6 damage points are not unreasonable on this. Top side, Suljin finally completes his actual baseline quest, which means that he's looking at 32 stacks now, and he has the double swing on the Arcanine stacks axis. So the only thing that he still needs is actually him getting the final kill in for his Headhunter, which would allow him to get an even bigger range. And that, of course, makes stacking much easier for him, since stacking on Suljin's baseline is obviously endless. So you can stack that into infinity, which is pretty good for you right there. I mean, either way, at this point, it's 9 kills against 5, but the objective has only traveled one direction thus far. The landlords are falling behind on structures, but they're doing well on the kills. And in the late game, as I said previously, this will be problematic simply because death time has increased, and that allows you more map control after you win a team fight. And that's already what they're attempting to do here. Greyman is now traveling back to help out the top lane in this 4 versus 4 situation. The Immortal has been announced, and now the next move has to be going for the camps. Red team is already underway. Over here, on the other hand, not really just yet. I mean, Greyman is normally pretty quick with that. If you have a Jaina behind her to drop the quick blizzard, then you're also in a decent spot, so it shouldn't really pose a problem. And yes, they're gonna get it in time. So they're Gucci. Actually Gucci at this point. Down to the bottom of the map, Altiega and Bacon Soccer, the two that are fighting the 1 versus 1 the entire game, are now finally ready for the fight as well. And it seems to be a defensive play from the Bacon Landlords as they're trying to make this work. In comes the flip. Suljin is stacking the level 7 and his baseline gets good damage out. Double stun on the Immortal. That didn't look good for them. Yeah, we caught that. Zonk in particular was completely blanking on that spot. Double camp on the bottom of the map, on the other hand, is going to be a huge problem for the red team. To be fair, though, top side is also getting attacked, and, well, it seems like Greyman is the one to deal with it. Arthur's at the bottom of... yeah, the Howling Blast, the zoning Howling Blast over here. As the tower gets already attacked, Greyman is going to move in very quickly. Honestly, the only thing that he really has to take... He doesn't have to take everything down. If you just take down the Shaman, you're already more or less golden. Half of the HP already gone. There's the flip again. Arthur's is still... I mean, Arthur's is going to be busy here for ages. Arthur's is losing the battle, by the way. So, right now, I mean, this is a dream time to go for another Immortal. The crowd pleasers do everything they can here. And that should be an easy halftime show. I mean, they're sliding in. If anybody just gets one more hit point on this, that would be enough. But instead, they're going for Chromie. And the fake dragon is getting killed. Charged of being a dragon imposter, found guilty, and eliminated. Righteous kill. She's not the only one that dies. Garrosh died too. He could actually just move down and take the keep. 3 heroes down. Just take the keep, boys. Just take it. Just take it. Just take it. Just then don't take it. Alright, so they have 40 seconds, 30 until Chromie is back, and they could easily take the keep and then go back to the Immortal. Instead, they take the Immortal first and don't take the keep at all. So, yeah. Talking about lost opportunities, even with the new mechanics on the keeps and 2 heroes still there, I mean, it's Anna and Arthur's. Why the hell are you afraid of Anna and Arthur's? This was a lost opportunity to just take the keep. They could have taken the keep at the top lane too, but instead they're actually doing just a little bit of damage and are now pushing with the Immortal. Now, don't get me wrong. Their position is still fantastic, but if you go up against better teams, you have to use these opportunities and really maximize what you get out of them, or you are going to be punished in the long run. So that was definitely a little bit of a misplay, but they are still very much so ahead, and they should be able to take the keep down now regardless. thanks to the Immortal, but of course it could have been an even better position than the one that they're in right now. Yeah, keep bot side is down, and they might be able to also snowball it towards the core now. 44 stacks on Soul Jin is pretty neat for him. We currently have him at 51,000 damage, so he has taken over and is now the top damage dealer in the game. They don't have level 20 though, that's a problem. Top side is getting attacked, that's another issue, so the keep might fall after all because nobody's dealing with it, and the keep is very likely going to drop, but so is the core. It's at 77% now, and Chromie is dead. That Immortal is still doing damage, there's just not enough focus here. And they are about to be taken out. It seems like the crowd pleasers are taking the game right now. Greymane with the double kill, and that is the end of game number 1. The lead in the best of 3 here in Heroes Lounge Division 7. Game number 2, the crowd pleasers with the lead, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, they got the victory, and now they go up against the Landlords on Infernal Shrines, and on the left side of the map, the blue team with Rhaegar, played by Johannes. We have Zonk on Jaina again, Jude Law on Mal'Ganis, Der Alte Jäger on Zul, and Freerider on Phoenix. And to the right side of the map, Mika Soa on Orphea for the Bacon Landlords. Bacon Soccer himself on Leo. Aramorg on Johanna. Hinata on Tyrande. And we have Zagara. Alright, Loria Thalion on Zagara. This is going to be wild. I mean, Zagara is kind of a fun hero. One that I would expect to make an appearance in Meta Madness. But hey, we'll see. And yeah, in case that you guys haven't actually heard it, honestly, I don't really know when this video is going to be up on YouTube. But if you're watching this on YouTube and not on Twitch right now, then you should definitely check out Khaldor.tv, because we have a new Meta Madness coming up soon, TM. You can find all the information there, and it's going to be fantastic. And if you never heard about Meta Madness, you missed out, and you definitely need to check it out. That's the one to watch live. So, big recommendation from my end. Go to Khaldor.tv, check out the news, and hope that this video actually makes it to YouTube before the tournament takes place. If not, you need to catch up on the VODs on YouTube, which is of course not a problem either, but it's always a hoot and a half when we have that live and the players are having tons of fun. So this is probably the one where you want to get a couple of friends together. If your corona restrictions allow it, grab yourself some popcorns and a few beers and then just enjoy the fun. So, with that already said, since we're already talking about YouTube, keep in mind, thumbs up on the video if you enjoy the content in general on the channel here. And with that, let's focus a little bit on game number 2 in this best of 3 series, where currently the Landlords are trying to set Zagara up over here. The creep spread is already underway. I mean, so far it really wouldn't make Jaedong proud, but he's already keeping an eye on her. It's like, interesting what you're doing there. You have a future. So, 3 on both sides, and there's the cleanup crew. Mal'Ganis moving in with the Fellclaws, trying to take the creep tumors down and eliminate them as quickly as he can. Alrighty, so what do we get? We have, first of all, on level 1, there's the Laws of Hope. Total viable talent again, hold your ground, Laws of Hope, both totally fine. There's always endless discussions, which talent is better. And the truth is that both of them are totally playable. Depends on your playstyle and the situation and the draft. So yeah, there is not one better choice. This isn't an easy question. Like, are you going to take on level 16 for Nubarak Debilitation, which is a garbage talent and has negative use, or do you take one of the best talents in the game, Epic Enter? Some people mistakenly think it's called Epicenter. No. It's not how it's pronounced, because you epically enter the backline. So yeah, in that case, there's absolutely no discussion. When it comes to Johanna, on the other hand, there are definitely variations of how you can play this. Bacon Soccer topside now with a level 4 standard, Kneel Peasants. Not only because Leo's a badass that you have to kneel to, but also because he wants to take those minions down and have more value on the shrine. Now that the rest of the team is just waiting for the shrine to activate, this is exactly what we're seeing happening. Phoenix is already starting to push this out a little bit. And let's go. It is shrine time, baby! And the blue team a little bit quicker on the spot, actually. And this is one of those moments where you can have Zul either on the Shrine, or you can simply have him rotate on lanes and try to get the wave clear through, because that bad boy can push a lane down pretty easily. Same is obviously true for Zagara, but she's actually committing to the battle over here and trying to make the play. It's going to be interesting to see Zagara lay down on level 10, because normally when you're... I mean, again, Zagara doesn't really get played a lot, but when you play Zagara in actually game, it's kind of all about the maw. It's not really Nidus style that you see, and for very good reasons. So when it happens, it's usually more, but it's a very infrequent pick. But since this is Division 7, could see something a little bit more different. So we'll find out. Level 7 talents are soon TM going to be part of this one. Already the big fire. Oh, the stun! Oh my god, the blue team is losing HP so quickly here. But I haven't actually lost a hero yet, so that's good for them. Let's see if they can do a little bit more. They get the Punisher. That's all that they got to do now. But of course, we are still waiting for kill number 1. It's always fascinating to me when you actually have a game in Division 7 and it takes like 5, 6, 7 minutes until the first kill is in. It's an interesting rotation down at the bottom though. So they're just figuring that in the middle they're not going to get a lot. So instead they move Zagara down to the bottom of the map. I actually don't hate this. This is not really all that bad. I mean, they do damage here in the middle thanks to the Punisher. Couldn't probably do too much there either way. So they go for a split attack and break through the bottom wall and are getting some serious damage onto that fort. And Zonk is just sitting here just like, Team! Yeah, now it's time to move back though, but that fountain is apparently a thorn in the side of Zagara, and she takes it down. Good step for her. Bit aggressive, but working out for her. And that is actually a really solid attack for the first objective. They did a lot of damage there. They lose Aramok in the process, but damn, I'll take that. That isn't too bad. Good wave clear, eliminating 2 walls pretty much, and also putting damage on the fort itself. Nicely done. Gotta commend the guys for that. So yeah, that was actually a decent rotation that they made. Now, since we're looking into the middle again, here comes the next big attack, and of course top side, we're also seeing Mikasa still sitting in the middle. Top is still Leo pushing this out, and interestingly enough, nobody really reacts to that. I mean, Zul has to rotate, or they're gonna run in huge problems here. So Zul finally is making that move. Just in time, by the way. A little bit later, and they would have lost a lot of experience, but in this case, he can actually catch all of that. Now, talking about catching things. He nearly got caught. Should probably Hearthstone back at this point and replenish his mana pool. I mean, this isn't really looking too healthy right now. Still 1 kills against 0, but the red team at least got a little bit out of it. What else? Top side. He's pushing that out. Leo's still busy in the middle. Zula has now completed his level 4. And on level 7 into the Wall of Bones, which we've actually seen a lot. So, yeah, survivability. Also the Poison Nova is in. And they're pressuring through this. I mean, Crowd Please are in the lead, right? So in this Division 7... Oh, the ring! And the kill! Orphea down, but it also cost Mal'Ganis' life. And the wall is also eliminated. So at the end of the day, a win for the Crowd Pleasers. Comes, of course, thanks to the level 10 ability that they already had. And that's something that I really like this time. So they got level 10 and they immediately made an attack happen. And that definitely wasn't the case in game number 1, so I actually like the adjustment. We have levels 10 on both sides, and that gives us no more. No, instead it's the Nidus network on Zagara. So they're apparently trying to global their ass. Fair enough, we'll see if that works out. I expected more. Again, for team fights usually in this setup it's much better. But they seem to have different ideas. If you want to play that global game, let's see if they can play it properly. They need to get creep a bit more on the other maps. I mean, in this case, honestly, it would make sense for Zagara to travel topside and just set it. Oh, actually, she has a creep tomb over here. Okay, so that's at least something. I mean, it's not as far out as I would like it to be. In this case, it would be nice to have it somewhere up here at the top, closer to the fort, but that is still pretty decent. So Zagara can deal with that, and in this case might actually use it to take the camp and then move down. The problem is that the team is actually moving topside, so that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. If you want to get the Zagara global value here, then have the team ready at the bottom, keep Zagara topped, she takes the camp, she pushes a wave, and then she moves down and comes out here. So instead the team moving towards the top in that fashion, that doesn't really help you. That's actually a bit of a problem. That's a huge wasted opportunity for the Bacon Landlords now. It's not a good look on them. Now, what the blue team has to be aware of is that they need to be able to respond to a push topside if it happens. Right now, that doesn't really seem to be the case, but Zul should, for example, think about moving towards the top and dealing with the camp. And that means that the team down here needs to either delay grabbing the Immortal and keeping it 39 stacks for now, or just be okay pushing with 4 instead. So they could have kept it at 39 and then moved back a little bit, wait for Zul to deal with it and then have him rotate down. But they decided against it. They take it early, always assuming there was actually a conscious decision, which there's a pretty good reason that it might not be the case. But now they're moving in. There's also, by the way, another interesting touch. Now, they actually play Ancestral Healing on Rega, and you don't see that all that much anymore after Bloodlust got buffed heavily. If you look at the top-level play, it's all about Bloodlust these days, because Blizzard buffed the talent significantly. But in this case, still Ancestral instead, and Rega is dead already. Also a Blizzard build here on 13 with a Stormfront that has been locked in now. 2 heroes are dead, and they're trying to follow up with even more. So at the end of the day, let's be honest, that Immortal didn't do jack shit. He didn't do anything. Level 13 talents are now ready for the 2. Okay. Zul and Leo both at the top right now. Down here, on the other hand, here comes Johanna, first of all, with the Holy Fury. And that's a pretty sad camp clear approach over here. Mikasa is finally moving in and is having some pity on the boys and girls. Okay, Zagara maws it up and rotates where? Apparently nowhere for now. Just trying to get some mana back, I assume. She might actually pop out at the bottom and deal with the camp. Nope, move towards the top and trying to actually flank in against Zul. Doesn't look like a kill unless Bacon Sucker drops an Entomb, which he doesn't. Apparently didn't have the Wraith Walk active either. If that one wasn't on cooldown, that would have been a perfect opportunity to just simply walk in with the Wraith Walk and then try and take Zul down. But that didn't happen, as you could obviously see. So now it's a move down to the bottom of the map where they're currently trying to make the plays. Let's take a look at the damage output. Zagara currently not even top siege damage, actually far away from it. 82,000 for Ophia on the other hand. Yeah, Ophia still floating around here. I mean, she has the hopes and dreams of the Heroes of the Storm Esports community in her coffin, and HGC, so that thing should be pretty heavy, but still, she manages to just float around her, so that's pretty impressive. Shows a lot of mental strength, if you ask me. 26,000 damage, 30,000 comes in with the big boy hits, and might actually die here. No, gets kept alive by Tirana for a long time. Shadow waltzes out of the fight. There's the kills, and bam, the Entomb seals the deal on Mal'Ganis. That's 2 confirmed. Phoenix might die too, gets hit by the Condemn and the Punish, and that is another kill. Nicely done. 6 kills against 2. Red team stepping it up, trying to force game number 3 in this. Creep spread is also slightly increasing for Zagara now, who has now her 16 talent in play. And let's see what she's gonna get right now. Okay. I mean, first of all, Leo actually going to an auto attack style. It's a little bit more popular, you see it a bit more, but generally speaking, if you're talking about a map like Infernal Shrines, I'm still a huge fan of damage reduction, of you just going full Wraith Walk, 13, 16, Ominous Wraith. Yeah, it's just a great setup. If you're trying to make sure that your opponent has a big problem in teamfights around the shrine, it's probably the better option to go for. But yeah, it's the auto attack build regardless. And he's actually not even with the team right now. This is a 4 versus 5 down here at the bottom of the map. And they are losing it. They're fucking losing it. The red team is getting crushed over there. The self-ancestral Leo has taken the experienced topside and is actually pushing the top forward. And still the 4 versus 5 is lost by the crowd pleasers. They don't have the level 16 talent. They get punished for the fight despite the numeric advantage. And that is just nasty. They're losing on all accounts right now. So up at the top, Leo's already working on the next objective. Zagara is pushing the bottom. In the middle, the fort got attacked as well. And down here, up here, they're also starting to take a camp away. Zagara is apparently allergic to level 16 talents. Still hasn't picked anything. Rest of the team has already chipped in on that. But Zagara is still at the bottom of the map and is playing the D.Va. It's like, yeah, I can't decide what to take. But yeah. We'll see eventually. Maybe she just forgot. There's a lot of things to keep in mind. Spread the creep, drop the Banelings. Spread the creep, drop some roaches. It's not that easy. There's a lot of things that are going on for Zagara. Now she has shit to do. Top side, seems like this one is going to be an easy one. I mean, no surprise, given the setup that we had. Camp is already pushing through. Zagara still not with the 16. Everybody else is in the middle of the map right now. Top side gets pushing. We're getting ready for a little bit more action over here. And the Arcane Punisher is already going through that fort. Means that Leo is attempting to push together with it. Should probably have a few more team members there. I mean, that Entomb would be nice, but the blue team is threatening to push the bottom of the map. I honestly wouldn't mind, because it would be a trade of a keep against the fort, and you take that 6 days to Sunday. Granted, it's made it a little bit more difficult these days to push with an objective because of the tower mechanics that changed in a recent patch. But still, there it is. Yes, now his 10 kills against 2 is a pretty dominant performance of the Landlords in game number 2 thus far. Especially Mikasa. I mean, here's Orphea here. 47,000 damage, absolutely eclipsing anything you are seeing on the Crowd Pleaser side. 33,000 for Zul. That's all they can bring to the table right now. Oh, now the rotation again. With all forts eliminated, this is currently a tough time for them. So yeah, Zagara is sitting on the side, taking the next camp. Yeah, but things are looking a little bit grim. Crowd Pleasers, they need a comeback, and for that you either need to out-rotate your opponent a bit on the map, or you need to win a team fight. Either one of the two would give them a silver lining on the horizon to maybe make a recovery possible. I'm not sure how easy that's going to be for them. So 20 is soon on the board, and that of course is going to increase the problems for the Crowd Pleasers. Mal'Ganis rushing out right now. Okay, Orphea comes in with a 20 pick. Indestructible's also in. Orphea actually with a final Toccata. And Zagara, you see, she picked the Corrosive Saliva. Finally. I don't actually know when the girl picked the 16, but yeah, I don't know. And in we go. The Endless Creep is ready. Alrighty, Zagara is going to try and dominate the map right now. Ult on Orphea, not really of much use, but the fight is happening regardless. And this is still Storm Talons against no Storm Talons. Gotta be careful here. The ult gets dropped from Free Rider, gets some free damage in. Yeah, Zul, the Ancestral, on point. The ring with one connect, but they can't get the kill against Tyrande, apparently. A good Entomb is being thrown out there, but no follow-up because Orphea already used their ult earlier. Zul still falls, so does Jaina. And there's the triple kill as Rhaegar goes down. That's 13 kills against 2, level 20 in their hands, and the approach to push through the middle of the map to take the first keep down. And that's something that they should be able to do here, especially with Zagara being around. I mean, again, she can drop the roaches right there to soak a few additional shots. I mean, I think they could easily crush it a little bit more over here, but they decide to go for the camp, which in and of itself I don't mind. But they should really continue the push either in the middle or down at the bottom of the map now, where we have catapults and a double wave pushing in. So either you're trying to make a play for a bit of keep damage, or you're trying to take down the wall at the bottom. Both of that would actually work, but they are going into the middle, take the tower down. No minion wave though, that's the problem. Now Zagara can help out with this a little bit. Roaches are already in. Aramong needs to be very careful. Minus 40 armor already, but the keep is taking serious damage. He should play around the aggro a little bit more though. That's just what they do. But here comes the defense. 5 versus 5 with a level 20 advantage for the Landlords, granted. Yeah, they're still poking a bit, but the keep is still in play. Keep is still there. Could try and take it down though. But they're not pushing in for it just yet. But with a level 20 talent, honestly, they really could drop it. Get a bit of damage in with Orphea. Drop a couple of Banelings. Drop a couple of Roaches. And you're good to go there. So that's another one of these opportunities where you should be able to make a play. Especially if you have Leo also with a Buried Alive. You have the setups here. If someone steps out, you can kill them. But now they, of course, waited too long. And there's 20 versus 20 talents. That makes that move more difficult. More dangerous. But they have the big lead on the Shrine. And that allows them now to get another Punisher, which will travel bot side. Upgrades are in. Singularity Charge. No Unconquered Spirit. And Daryl's Visage. Seeker Swarm. The Cold Snap. The cooldown reduction. And off we go. Frozen Punisher time. They want game 3. The big question is, are they getting game 3? 13 against 2. The current kill count over here. 20 versus 21. Damage output. Zagara on 37,000. 83,000 siege damage. In both categories. Orphea is looking a bit better. Here comes the push. Everybody's starting to come in. Could be the hit, the Entomb, and the Orphea ult. And it's enough to take Phoenix down. Phoenix is dead. The Dragoon gets turned into Deadoon, which makes no sense. Khaldor can't rhyme. That's something that we kind of knew before I tried it. Orphea is down though, and that's actually the beginning of maybe a defense. I mean, Phoenix is still dead too, so it's a 4 versus 4, so yeah, that's at least that. In comes the Indestructible, but the keep at the bottom goes down. Leo is currently working at the one in the middle. Just move in, bro. Just move in. Mace to, yes, mace to the pillar, and that's that. Nicely taken apart. Leo falls, but again, he dies for good cause. And at the same time, Zagara, the specialist, is where? Exactly, taking camps. It's exactly what you thought. I know, there's no specialists in the game anymore. But they're still amongst us. Just because Blizzard renamed it in for different categories doesn't mean that those people don't exist anymore. But again, there's a camp. Could have maybe done a little bit of core damage, but taking 2 keeps down is obviously a big step into the right direction. And Zagara is trying to get that global value. Leo actually has taken over on the damage now. Siege damage. 54,000 for Zul in the hero damage department. Yep. And by now, 10 stacks also for Tyrande. Only one who's still stacking over here. Bot lane is pushing. 20 minutes in, it is Winion time. Winions are doing solid work now. Okay. What are they pushing for now? I mean, Zagara is pretty much jumping between the lanes. I would really love for her, as I said before, to have a Nidus over here, maybe over here somewhere, and set that up. But if she can just like set it up over here sometime, that would already help. I mean, creep spread could be a little bit better at this point, especially with the level 20 talent. She did a good job on the right side of the map, but you want to be a little bit deeper in enemy territory at this point, if you can. They have a huge lead kills with 16 against 4, so that's already good. Pushing through the top lane is definitely going to help them to apply the pressure. But they could with that also allow Zagara to occasionally jump down to the bottom thanks to Nidus and then simply take those waves apart to allow the catapults to push towards the core. That would be half the battle here. And the catapults are already pushing. That's a big connect though for Phoenix. They're trying to get the kill. They get one. Zagara is dead. And that's the end of Orphea and Leo. Triple kill. Oh yeah, baby. All of a sudden, are we going to see that second win for the crowd pleasers? Is this the comeback? They've lost so much already, but they're going for the 5-man wipe. That's going to be a team wipe, boys. That's a team wipe, and that could be their ticket back into this game. They should try and take a keep now. Top keep would be a good one to try and drop. The Zul is the one moving back. Why not? But you want to definitely do the damage now. Attack the top lane, try and take the keep down. That would be the step in the right direction. And that should actually work for them. I mean, the minion wave is pushing in. They got the damage output. It's going to maybe be a little bit tricky with 18 seconds on Zagara, but the second minion wave is already coming in. They definitely need to deliver right now. This is the moment. If you don't take it now, then when are you ever going to do it? Especially since the next shrine is already spawning topside. So if they actually take the keep down, that would be a huge deal. Because if they also win the top fight, then that Punisher would go for core. That's a huge difference. So yeah, all of a sudden the top lane is absolutely equal over here. Move back, don't get caught by Leo, and Bob's your uncle. Bottom of the map, there is of course still the problem that the bot lane and the mid lane are going to push against you while you're fighting for the shrine. And Zagara has the Nidus set up, plus they have also the camp that she's going to take. She should actually time it with a shrine attack. I mean, at this point she actually can just simply take it, so yeah. But Zul is now in this weird spot where moving topside is what he needs to do. But down here, he needs to deal with catapults. So this could actually be a win-win game. Depends a bit on how the red team plays it. The Bacon Land lost. They would have kind of played this a little bit slower, but that was a good Entomb setup, and that's a quick kill against Phoenix. Nice one. Good connect with the Cold Snap on the other hand. And it's a kill against Zagara. Zagara is down. Guys, are they actually making the comeback happen? The crowd pleasers. They're here to please the crowd. There's the Ancestral on Rega. Jäger and Zul about to die, and he gets dropped. Bot lane still pushing. Another Ring of Frost. Yes, that cooldown reduction comes in handy in a situation like this. And here comes the kill against Tyrande, against Leo. Only 2 heroes remaining on the side of the Bacon Landlords. 37, the blue team, they actually get the Punisher. They go for the kill. Aramork about to go down, but Mikasor is Sukasor. He comes in and gets the double kill before he finally falls. And that should allow the Landlords to defend. I mean, first of all, 5-man team wipe against the Landlords. 4 or 5 died over here. Rhaegar AFK, reports are incoming, and he needs to deal with all of the Oh my god, he might not be able to do that actually. Get wrecked! Yeah, so much for that. He's taking those down. Guys, that's game. That's actually game. Winion time. Yep, goodbye. That's a 1-1. That is a 1-1, and that brings us to game number 3. Yeah, GG and well played. The Catapults win the game. Game number 3. The conclusion, ladies and gentlemen. The crowd pleasers against the Bacon Landlords. What other map would be the perfect final map for this series than Towers of Boom? Freerider on Vala. We have Johannes on Oriel, Jude Law on Nubrak, Zonk on Zonia, and der alte Jäger on Zul once again. Bacon Soccer, on the other hand, he's playing Varian here. We have Aramork on Johanna, Hinata on Anduin, Lorithalion on Zagara, and Mikasa on Ophia. Well, it worked in the last game with Zagara, so why not try it again? That seems to be the play right now. Okay, so in terms of talents, pretty much the same that they already started on the last map with. Bit of a difference here on Zul's level 1, went into Shade this time. And let's see how this goes for them. Again, it is Heroes Lounge Division 7 that we're looking at here. And it's kind of an enjoyable one. We had also an attempt apparently by Phoenix on the last game, if I saw that correctly, to use his ult on the catapults. And those catapults certainly were a little bit more dangerous than heroes at that point in time, but that's not quite how it works. So yeah, there's that. I mean, either way, we have on level 1 now the High King's Quest, which already makes me a little bit worried for the team here. But if you go into Taunt, you have good heroes to follow up on it. It's a little bit surprising that Nikasaurus or Fia didn't get banned out after the last game, if you're totally honest about it. Oh, which brings me obviously to one of the most asked questions, at least on YouTube. Why don't you show the drafts anymore? As I must have said like 1,000 times already in the past. If you don't see a draft in one of my videos on YouTube, that pretty much means that the games were casted from replays and not live. There's quite a few things that I'm not able to cast live, and well, sometimes there's also patches that drop and shit, so yeah, then we jump into replays. So every single game that I actually cast live will include the draft as usual. But for some reason, for one or another, some people always get super upset when I upload something that doesn't have a draft because they think that I decided that from here on out we don't need drafts anymore. So yeah, in case that you're one of these people, now you know. Alright. Well, right now, just a little bit of a rotation. I mean, again, pumpkins on both sides taken. Easy rotations, no aggression just yet. Nobody really trying to make a big play at the beginning. We didn't have an invade on the mercenary camp, for example, which is definitely something that you could do. And yeah, Zul is starting the rotation. And off we go. There's a wave clear coming in with the Condemn. Aramork using his wave clear to take this down. A couple of them made it through regardless, so there's that. Vala going also into her multi-shot, which is always nice, so we actually get a talent, and there they are, the meme blades. Oh, of course. I mean, when Bacon Soccer starts to play his variant, you always know what's coming. Either it's a smashy smash, or it is the meme blades. Honestly, in this case, I could have totally seen him go for the smash for a simple reason. I mean, in this case, we have actually Varian playing with his son Anduin, and if that's your son, I would scream all day as well. And nobody screams more beautifully and louder than Smash Varian. And yeah, people think he actually screams because, you know, he's excited about this, he's excited about, like, it's a war cry or something. Nothing could be further from the truth. He's just yelling at the clouds because he can't understand how he can have such an incompetent imbecile for a son like Anduin, who just cries all day after his mommy, and yeah, that's all there is to it. So That's just Varian. He's frustrated, and I would be frustrated too. I mean, if that was my son, I would really think about committing Sudoku. At some point, you have to ask yourself, is it my fault? Was he born this way? But yeah, Anduin is just crybaby. I'm gonna get so much shit, by the way, for that on YouTube again, so... But yeah. Either way, 2 of the altars have actually been channeled by the red team, so they did fairly well here in the early one. They won the middle altar, and they also took one at the top right, top left exchange, which means that's 32 points against 36 right now. Top side, that's where Zonk on Sonya is now coming in. Interestingly, not using the spin to win to clear the creep, and that could actually backfire in the long run, so you gotta be a bit careful with that. Once that Zagara actually gets good creep spread on the map, you are kind of fucked. So, you gotta be careful with this. The vision alone that those creep tumors supply you with is pretty great, and then of course it's just like map control in general and information that's important here. But yeah, so with that we have on level 7 the second wind now coming in. If you want to play meme blades, that's of course the way to go. Also full engage build on Anubarak, which goes into the subterranean shield and Underking. And the rest of the level 7 talents are slowly tickling in. As we have both teams, again, go for the pumpkins. As you should. So, full on multi-shot build. Which is kind of the norm. Again, there's no bosses on the map that really matter in this way. Yes, of course, we have the boss topside for the 4 shots, but still it's not really the same value as when you're playing Cursed Hollow, where an arrow build would still make sense for fights around the tribute, and in addition to that, also boss control. So, a multi-shot build, the total standard, is being played here. Same time now, the altar is spawning. It's actually a single altar this time. Single altar for them. Nice condemn. Follow up on the other hand. And here comes Varian. Trying to get the damage out, trying to do a little bit of work here. Pagan Sokka just chipping away, trying to complete his level 1 of course too. And here we go. We're starting to jump back in again. Zagara is still sitting topside. Zagara is still pushing. Ramok down here is taking the blunt force of the attack. Varian gets saved by Anduin. Aww, it's kind of cute. Okay, so Anduin actually doing something useful for a change. I don't know, I really like to rip on the hero. There are some people that actually don't understand where that hate for Anduin comes from. The actually explanation is really simple. I said it in the past, but most people don't know. So the main reason why I actually hate Anduin is that stupid World of Warcraft trailer where Sylvanas and Anduin are fighting, and then Anduin is just like crying like a baby for the Alliance! The problem is that that trailer actually played while we were casting in China for Gold League, and we were there for 2 weeks, and I think we were pretty much busy every single day. And during the breaks, they played nothing else but this trailer. And if you watch Anduin like a crybaby just sitting there, for the Alliance, I want my mommy! Then, yeah, if you have to watch it for like 50 times, at some point, honestly, you just hate the guy. Even if you never played World of Warcraft. So that's pretty much where all of this is coming from. The hero itself in Heroes is actually kind of fun. And has some really cool little plays to make. But, yeah. That's where this irrational dislike of the character comes from. So, yeah, that's that. Anyways, I thought some people kind of want to know. Because there's honestly people that get upset at you. Just like, Anduin is a great warfighter. He's a great leader. And it's like, yeah, du mich auch. Alright, 10 versus 10, 0 kills against 2, but yeah, the things that people get upset about these days. Okay, so with that, we actually have now Nidus again, also the light bomb. Make a bit of a play with Anduin rushing in and trying to make his play. Alrighty, Bacon Soccer looking for a victim. Has a first semi-quest completed. Top, a little bit of experience will be lost for the Landlord. Ah, actually, Zagara's there. Alright, I'll take it back. Zagara used the Nidus just in time to jump topside. We have now top left, top right. Should be an easy encounter between the two. Still a fairly even game. I mean, it's 32 points on each core. Nothing big here. Zagara at the top is still running. But look at that creep spread. It's not J-Dong level just yet, but nobody is able to meet the Dong there. Okay, shots are fired. He should really fight for this one. But the creep spread is getting better, and once the level 20 kicks in, I can just imagine that's going to get even better in this setup. So, alright. Okay, come on, where's the channel? Yeah, the Eternal Feast. Free Rider barely surviving with 29 HP. Zagara, oh my god, he actually gets out. Zagara gets out, takes the Nidus, gets the hit points and the mana back. And Bacon Soccer is just using his Varian. Yeah, they're gonna need stuns against him. It's one of the best ways to actually counter Varian. I mean, if he goes for Meme Blades, it's like the same recipe as for any other hero that you just need to stop coldness tracks. Stack the stuns. Get some stuns in. And then drop the burst damage and just eliminate them. It's the best way to deal with these situations. So, yep. Down to the bottom of the map. Actually, top side, they're making the play for boss, apparently. Well, apparently not. Could have done it, though. Sonya up at the top. Could have figured it out, I suppose. We still have only 2 kills. This is game 3, again. It's the last map in this best of 3 series. Varian again with the attempt. This time trying to go for Vala. Yeah, Vala simply running away. There's the first stun. Could get the follow-up right now. And Anduin again with the save. A bit of a safety net right now. Okay. What's the damage output actually looking like for the boys here? 19,000 for Mikasor Ophia. 16,000 for Vala. 13k for Zul. And they're starting to chase a little bit. But it's more so the rotations on the lane, trying to just make sure that you catch all of the lane experience that dominates right now. It's not really too many team fights just yet. But yeah, with the help of Zul, they could easily try and take that out. And down here, it's a trap! But I think they saw him already. So, yep, there's the whip, but not whippy enough. And Oriel still alive. The light bomb is in. They're trying to make the play right here. With the cocoon, setting it up. Bacon Soccer zoning them again. The high and mighty Meme Blades Varian right there. Okay. What else are we gonna get? We are getting, first of all, the 13 talent now Gloom. There's the Burning Rage. And like again, a little bit of a whip play over here. Bacon Soccer running a bit out of mana. Trying to make the play against Sonya, who's just smashing away. Sonya actually with decent damage output here too. But Bacon Soccer wants the 1v1. Instead, they're going down for Aramok and they get the quick kill here. Nicely done. That's the death of Sonya. Varian nearly dying too. Sorry, Johanna. Varian nearly died as well. And now they should have the easy channel. I know we're just going to interrupt here. Okay, awesome. Alright, 4 shots fired. That is 24 points on both sides. Eternal Feast. Bacon Soccer simply moving in. Doesn't give a shit. Dies. Should have too. Yeah, and they're trying to get the kill against Mikasor, which they do. Sonya down, Ophia down, the whip missing. They're trying to chase a little bit, but not happening right now. Still 2 kills against 3, a slightly inexperienced for the crowd pleasers. And, well, let's have a bit of a look over here. I mean, Vala is, of course, getting serious damage out right now. She also went strafe. Well, makes perfect sense. There's no real reason to go into Reign of Vengeance here. You don't have an ETC. I mean, first of all, you have enough interrupts anyways on the team. With the Cocoon, with the Whip, with Zul, Sonya. So even if there was an ETC with, let's say, Mosh Pit, you can still go strafe in this one. Only reason to maybe go for an additional stun could be Varian. But the damage output of Strafe is just way better, and she is the main damage dealer in this case. So yeah, if she actually saves it a little bit and waits it out until Blessed Shield has been used, she's gonna get mad damage out of that in any team fight. It's also a pretty decent cleanup tool if she can use it here. Okay, Cocoon also could control Varian if they need to. And what else are we gonna get? There's the move with Zong, the spin to win. How much damage does Sonya actually have? Sonya's sitting at 18,000. I mean, she is third damage together with Zul. Here comes the push down to the bottom of the map as they're trying to set it up. Zul top. Triple altar again. So that could be an easy double altar for that. Oh, they're moving in again. And Vala is down. The Cocoon comes a little bit too late. Yeah, that's bad news. The only one that hasn't died on the blue team so far is Oriel, but losing a hero just at the beginning of this fight is obviously not really ideal, since the objective is now up. It's starting to become a little bit worse. The problem really with the setup is that they are lacking a bit of the coordination that they need against Varian. I mean, Meme Blades are obviously pretty garbage, but in order to just simply dominate the guy, you have to still coordinate, and they don't coordinate around him and allow him to simply reign free in those fights. Which is obviously what you can't really do here. They have the stuns, they're just not using them. properly. 5 kills against 2. Now they have nearly level 16. Should probably wait for that as well. But now it's 16 points against 20 on the core. Varian is once again allowed to just like rampage here. And he goes straight in for good old Sonya and takes her down. That's now 6 kills against 2. Level 16 talents are in. That gives Vala a little bit more control. It's a good example, by the way, of a game where you could have gone into Frost Shot as well, just to control the movement of the opponent's heroes a little bit more and have a long-range poke. But if she is staying in auto-attack range, she will be able to get a lot of Manticore damage out for sure, especially after level 20. Nice! Yeah, the new mechanic actually dangerous, but Aramork got out. Were good heals from Anduin in particular. There's still the... No! Use the stun for him! What are you doing? You want to stun him out. Whip in the wall. Also missing. Okay, that was unfortunate. Yeah. That was a bit unfortunate what actually happened for them now. Okay. So, let's see and have a bit of a look after the handling the late game with level 16 talents now. I honestly have no idea who's going to win this. I feel both teams have some really good arguments on their hands of how they could do that, but it's all coming down to coordination and communication as usual. Yeah, top lane, Zonk is already sitting there. Especially in the lower leagues, I'm not really the biggest fan of Anubarak as a hero. That is something that I like to see more in the hands of top-level players who can coordinate really well around it. Anubarak can be a fantastic asset to an engaged team, but in lower leagues, Anubarak usually doesn't really do too much. And especially now that the aggro mechanics are different on towers, it doesn't give you as much anymore on the lower levels than it did previously. This, on the other hand, I mean, again, perfect example of why I said that they should probably have banned out Mikasa Sophia. He is just ripping them a new one right now. 53,000 damage for Sophia, and he is doing a fantastic job. And this is swinging the momentum pretty rapidly. Not only are they going to get another ult at the bottom of the map, they are very likely going to convert the bell tower too. So, yeah. Shots fired. Bam! That's down to 12. And they should be able to do something here. If not take that, then go boss. Maybe. I mean, Zagara is already doing the top work. Creep spread could be better, let's be honest. I mean, granted, Sonya is trying to work around it a little bit. Could still be better. Yeah, that's good damage. Those Hydras are doing work. Alright. Well, let's see. Here we go. Okay, so with that, we have Aramork and Tinata now starting to move in. And Sonya goes down at the top, gets eliminated. Yeah, they're getting farmed. 9 kills against 2, 12 against 20, 18 versus 18, but it is an experience lead for the Landlords, and in addition to that, they're now breaking through the structures more and more. Now, the blue team is trying to go, I don't want to call it a Hail Mary just yet, but they're going for a bit of an attempt to establish control over the bot lane, which is still the most important lane on this map, so they're trying to make the play here. And let's see. Yeah, Aldega, Jude Law is already staying tight. And off we go. Bacon Soccer, the wave clear is in. I mean, wave clear on Jojo should be pretty tight actually at this point. 57,000. Yeah, Zagara obviously, and also Sophia higher than her. But still, for a tank, this is really good numbers. She's doubling the numbers of Anubarak. Condemn making it possible, of course. Yeah, a noob. Was that a misclick? Did he try to charge out of this one? He's going to be in trouble. Jude Law might actually fall. Vala getting the straight. She only connected with 2 heroes though. It's not really the way that you want to play around the strafe here, but at least this time she waited, and that actually gave a huge damage boost right now too. But in an ideal world, you want to be the one driving the opponent back and not using it as a safety measure to move away. Down at the bottom, this one has been converted. Already the channel. Zul is down too. That's 3 shots at least fired, so they steal one of the altars away, but they won't be able to save this one, and that's 5 shots for sure that get taken. With now the pumpkin camps up on both sides, that's another problem. And to be honest, with 5 shots over here, we could even see the boss being claimed. I mean, at least take the pumpkins. You have the account right now. Yep. And they're going for it. Yeah, so 7 points against 17, and now we have also the Frenzy in. In addition to that, the Endless Creep is right here. And yeah, it's a pretty dominated setup right there. Again, this is a map where you can make massive, massive comebacks, but it's just the kill count that really worries me. And with Zul now dying too, they lose even more map control. Vala isn't even here. She's the only range damage that they have. Her not being part of this defense is a huge problem. if you draft this melee heavy, you need to engage harder, and they haven't done that. That's 2 shots fired. That should be a move immediately towards boss. Right now, this is a boss move, and the ping is already in. You can't win this. I mean, again, 38 seconds, 40 seconds, there's only the cocoon. You attack this right now. The second Lubrak uses cocoon, you burn the cocoon down, and that's that. Zagara should not be here. She has no business there. She's obviously trying to open up another way of attack, but she doesn't have to. In this case, you don't need to do that. You don't want to do that. She is there in time for the fight, so that's good. But if she gets picked, that's a problem. There's the kill against an oop. Maybe not. But yeah, he dies. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is game. The Bacon Landlords with the victory as they lock in the 2-1 against the Crowd Pleasers here in Division 7 of Heroes Lounge. GG. GG. Well played.